Hi everybody, welcome to the DVD review. My name is Peter H. And this month we're going to be talking about the Vampiro documentary, Angel, Devil, Hero. Right there. It's a great DVD. It's a documentary about the life and times of Vampiro. Basically, the DVD it's got like three storylines which intertwine into each other. It's a really weird, not weird, it's a very good actually editing process. It's critically acclaimed for its editing. Um, the three major points that the movie touches on, or documentary touches on, is A, how he grows up and becomes a wrestler, B, his family life, and C, the promotion he's trying to build from the ground up called Revolution X. So I'm going to give you my take on the key points, and we'll go from there. At the end of the review, I'll be revealing next month's DVD, which I've had trouble picking, and to be honest, I had one in mind for next month, and then something happened. I had to basically reshoot the entire review because it was tied into the end of the review. So I've changed my mind a couple of times on what DVD I will be reviewing, but I have decided, so stay tuned at the end of the review for what I'm going to be reviewing next. Okay, so the documentary um, begins with Vampiro, excuse me, with basically he's how do I say this? It starts off with him with the Guardian Angels from New York City. Guardian Angels is a group of civilians, basically like a vigilante neighborhood watch type of thing. Basically patrolling the streets, stopping crime, stuff like that. Vampiro wants to bring that presence to Mexico and start his own chapter of the Guardian Angels. And then we find out who is Vampiro. We find out that he grew up in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Yeah, as every kid dreams, oh, I shouldn't every kid dreams, but as every kid in Thunder Bay and basically Canada plays hockey, he actually was a very good goaltender. Then something happened where he had an altercation with his coach. The coach wanted him to basically get a haircut and change his look, and he wouldn't have any of it, so he basically said, screw this, and he left hockey. He moved to Montreal to become a wrestler and became friends with a guy, Jamie. Jamie, basically, with Vampiro and Jamie, they pulled off crimes like they would rob pimps and drug dealers. Um, Jamie didn't really approve of him wrestling. Didn't really understand the whole thing, but so they, Vampiro is a very complex character. Um, like some people think he's full of shit. Some people think he's a really true friend, but it depends on basically some people crossing the wrong way. Some people, like for example Chris Jericho, if you ever read his book, rub Vampiro the wrong way type of deal. Either you're gonna like him or you're not gonna like him. It's either A or B. There is no middle ground. Uh, they talk about Vampiro working security for Milli Vanilli, and basically when that crashed and burned, talks about other stuff. Um, then they talk about his rise of popularity wrestling in Mexico. His sister shows like the action figures and the posters and the magazines, stuff like that. I would say he's very in the early '90s, mid '90s. He would be like as big as Conan was. Him and Conan back and forth type of thing. The next point I like to bring up would be they show Vampiro going to Ireland for an independent tour, and basically he fights Sheamus. Sheamus, of course, the current WWE champion. This is a very young Sheamus in little, hometown promotion in Ireland, and they basically talk at a pub, and it's really weird seeing Sheamus from the documentary as opposed to what we is now, and I guess the progression. Very nice. I really like this piece actually about Ireland where Sheamus grew up type of thing, and Vampiro puts him over huge. There's also another piece down in the movie where he's talking about another promotion, and this, he basically he has to go overseas to Germany and fight for this promotion, and where the event is held is very far away from the airport, and he didn't tell Vampiro that it'd be a long bus ride or train ride to get there. Vampiro's kind of pissed off, and if he didn't, basically, he was very close to saying fuck this and leaving the promotion, just like, you know what, whatever. But he didn't. Shows the promotion in a negative light, but then positive light. It's a weird contrast. Um, they focus on Vampiro. It's like 36 hours to showtime, and they show about basically, as I said before, this movie jumps from point A to point B to point C. It's hard to basically gather your thoughts. You're always on the go with this documentary. It's very fast-paced, 90 minutes. Um, they talk about 36 hours showtime, and he needs to get $18,000 before the show to pay everybody, and his sponsor won't be paying the $500,000 that's promised to him until next week. So Vampiro has to make some calls to some drug dealers and some money launderers, some crime syndicates, basically. And also, he's talking to a Japanese promotion to use some of their talent for the show. It's kind of cool, actually. And then it flashes over to his family life, and they talk to his ex-wife, and they talk about him having a very beautiful daughter, who is actually, they show her, she's a gymnast, she's like 8, and talk about how she's in national competition, and, very cool story. Saying how they met, like him and the ex-wife, and how he loves her still to this day. Um, then the movie kind of turns into a very sad point, talking about his father, and how basically his father molested him when he was a kid, and then he told his mom, and the mom said she should go to the priest, and he tells the priest, I should say, and the priest molests him as well. So Vampiro has he's not very religious. His mom is very religious, but he is not. He believes in his own thing. He'll still go to church, but he doesn't really believe in the whole, kid and caboodle type of thing. I was very surprised to see that, when they're talking about different people giving their thoughts about Vampiro for the documentary, they have Bob Barnett and Norman Smiley. And Norman Smiley, everybody knows him from WCW. And Norman has a really good story about the first time he met Vampiro, thinking he'd never make it. And him and Norman Smiley became good friends. So, I mean, there's some really good stuff in there. Then the movie kind of focuses on the actual show. They're bringing a TV producer, Barry Blaustein, who was in it, and basically they show him pitching ideas about the main event. It's got Jesus Aguilera. It's got another guy from WSX. He was in XPW. I forget his name at the moment, but Chaos. That's who it was. And basically, they're going to be in the main event. They basically structure how the main event's going to happen, and they show the matches, and they show Vampiro backstage in the gorilla position, watching the match with the headset on, and going from there. The main event happens, and then you got a Vampiro match, and Vampiro fights a Japanese wrestler, and of course Vampiro, the hometown guy type of thing. Of course he wins, and then the movie ends, and the graphic just reads, the show promotion ended the next week. Vampiro said he was quitting business, and that lasted all a month before he came back to the ring. So that's as far as the documentary. There is an alternate ending to the movie. It's a very fast-paced 90 minutes. I liked it. It's a very different documentary than you're going to see, from WWE or whatever. I would almost put it on par with independent DVD documentaries like the World Class one from Big Vision. I really like this DVD. I really would recommend this one. I actually have a friend of mine who I went to high school with who actually worked on this film, and he said he really enjoyed working on it because there is an Ottawa. One of the producers is from Ottawa, and my friend worked on the movie, so I got some first-hand knowledge about what happened and the process about making the movie, which is really cool. So anyways, let's take a break. We'll be right back. I want to play a quick commercial, and then I'm going to come back and we're